I really think that a shift dress is a wardrobe must-have. If you're looking to make one of these yourself, then keep watching this video for all of the tips and tricks that you'll need to make a beautiful professional garment. Hey friends, today I'm going to be making a simple shift style dress. I'm going to be using the Cadence Top and Dress sewing pattern from Love Notions. It's a woven intended sewing pattern, and it just makes the most perfect, simple, beautiful silhouette, shapely shift dress that anyone can use in their wardrobe. So in today's video, I'm going to show you some of the information that you need to know to sew it. I'll show you some important things as far as techniques, and I'm also going to give you some information about some special hacks and other opportunities to make this pattern exactly what you're looking for. Whether you're new to sewing or you are a seasoned professional, this shift dress is going to be right up your alley. And also, if you are new to sewing, or if you've sewn our free Laundry Day tee, this pattern is a great next step if you want to get into sewing woven garments. So this is the free Laundry Day tee that you can get by signing up on our newsletter list. And if you've already sewn that and you're ready for something more, I highly suggest approaching the Cadence Top and Dress. So let's get sewing. So what makes a shift dress? Why is this style so needed in a wardrobe? Well, a shift dress has those nice straight lines that are sleek and simple, and they allow it to stand on its own as a make with just a pair of sandals and some cute earrings, or you can use it as a base layer underneath a blazer or a cardigan, and you can allow the other accessories that you have to stand out. So if you use like a simple solid fabric, a shift dress is a great base piece, and then you can use the rest of your accessories to really personalize your look. So I think a shift dress is essential for the summer especially. So right now is the perfect time to sew a shift dress. And it's nice and cool, it moves with you, and it has those lines that help you feel like you can breathe, and it has lots of flexibility in it. And especially depending on the fabric that you use, a shift dress is just like feels perfect and breezy during this time of year. So that's why I'm making my shift dress today. I'm going to be making a short sleeve version of a shift dress with no like waist casing or anything. It's just going to be that simple long line. And I think I'm going to really love wearing it this summer. Let's talk specifically about the Cadence Top and Dress pattern. Let's talk about our fabric, some of the options that this pattern comes with, and all the other details that you'll need to know to decide what version is right for you. So Cadence is the epitome of that shift style dress. It's meant for woven fabrics. It has beautiful shaping at the bust for all of the different views. But if you'd like to have more waist definition, you can use the casing. But no matter what you choose, it's a really comfortable and easy to wear pattern. All of the necklines for both the sleeved and the tank versions are finished with facings. And there are 3 lengths included: a shirt, a knee-length dress, and a maxi. All of the views have a side slit, and the maxi length slit goes all the way up to the knee. There are 5 sleeve options included: the tank, short sleeves, 3/4 length sleeves, flare, and even a bishop sleeve. You can use the 2 neckline options, either the scoop or a notched scoop. It is totally a breeze to sew. There are no closures needed, no zippers, no buttons. And I think I sewed my most recent one in about an hour and a half. All right, let's talk about fabric. So I'm going to be making my Cadence dress, my shift style dress, in this really beautiful stretch woven. You can see it has a little bit of a texture to it, and it's super fluid and drapey. I think this will be really perfect for this shift style dress so that I can let the simple design lines of the pattern kind of stand out, but it's going to feel great on because this is such a light and airy, fluid, moving, lots of movement to this fabric. So I think it'll really drape nicely with that silhouette. And I think it's going to feel great in the summer months because it is just so light and billowy. So I'm going to be sewing the knee length version of the Cadence shift dress, and I'm going to be using the short sleeves. I'm also going to be using the facing that is intended for the sleeved version. So I'll be using that facing along the neckline. And this fabric does have a 20% stretch. This is a stretch woven, but I think it'll still work really great for this shift style dress. So some other fabric types that I would recommend for Cadence are rayon challis, I think is beautiful in this type of pattern, but you could even go with something like a poplin, or I think it would be really, really nice to have it sewn in like a lawn fabric, like those Liberty lawn fabrics would be beautiful with this simple dress and let that fabric really stand out. But there's lots of different ways that you can make this pattern using fabric of your choice. But you're just going to want to make sure that it is a woven. And now when it comes to fabric, like I said before, Cadence is a place where you can really pick a fun fabric, and those simple silhouette, those design lines will let that fabric stand out. So I highly encourage you to visit our blog and look at Kira's recent post about sewing with Eyelet. Eyelet fabric is often called broderie anglais, and it is textured, and it has like those little kind of holes and designs inside of the fabric. And because this dress could be lined, it's a great choice for this type of pattern. But Kira has a whole blog post full of details and the ways to make the Cadence dress using that type of fabric. So I highly encourage you to check that out before you start sewing your Cadence. Now, another resource that you might want to look into before you start sewing your Cadence is Chris's new post about sewing a facing. Now, the pattern Cadence has a facing, like I said before, to finish off the neckline, and she's going into depth on all of her tips and tricks for creating a really beautiful facing. So a facing is just that way to finish off the neckline, and instead of doing like a full lining to finish off that neckline, or to do like bias binding or something like that along the neckline, this facing is another method for finishing it off. And sometimes it can be a little bit tricky because you have to have like an interfaced facing, you have to understitch, and you have to do kind of some special little things with that facing. So make sure that you read Chris's post today to get all of her professional tips and tricks for your facing. Another piece of Cadence support that you might find useful is linings. So I have a video that I posted recently about ways to do linings, and I think that might be helpful as well, especially if you're using a really lightweight, almost see-through fabric. You're gonna wanna do a little bit to make sure that that doesn't become see-through and then it becomes opaque in some way. So a lining is often a good way to do that. And I'll show you, I'll link to the video where I talk about linings for your sewing patterns. Do you plan to sew the tank style of this project? Then make sure that you look at the burrito roll technique for finishing off that facing part. I have a video for it that has been really helpful for some people, and I use it for making my linen blend tiered and gathered skirt. This is one of our most popular videos on Pinterest, and it's the burrito method for a sleeveless lined bodice using Cadence. So you're just going to sew the lining and the main necklines together, right sides together, and then you're going to roll up the opposite side really tight, and you're going to roll it all the way to the arm side. Then you're going to fold over, sandwich that other arm side with the rolled up fabric between those straps, and then you're going to sew that with a straight stitch. You're going to make sure that all of the rolled up fabric that's inside there is far away, and you're going to turn that right side out by pulling the fabric through the arm strap. Ta-da! And then you're just going to repeat that for the other side. So roll it, sandwich it, pin it, and then you're just going to sew that. Pull it through by turning it around, and voila. Another resource that you might really find useful for Cadence is our full sew along series. Kelly has broken down every single step in the process, from picking out your fabric to selecting your size to making adjustments, and every single step of sewing. She's recorded that for you in a full sew along series, and that is incredibly helpful as you go through each step in the process on the tutorial. So if you kind of want someone there with you holding your hand through every step, make sure that you go to the link below where we've got the sew along for you. One of the other things that I like to do before I sew almost any project is visit our pattern support group, and I just search the pattern name inside of the group. And in there, you will see a million different hacks and additions and modifications that people have made to the pattern to give you lots of inspiration. So I did that, and I'm going to show you some of my very favorite hacks and ideas for sewing Cadence in exactly the way that appeals most to you. Like I said before, this is a great foundation piece where you can really let your imagination and your creativity go wild. So here are a few of my favorite hacks and modifications for Cadence. Inside of the recent facing blog, Chris also showed off a couple of modifications that she had for her cadences. You can see that she did some ruching along the side seam, and she created a slanted diagonal drop waist with a gathered skirt. I think it's gorgeous. She also created this really vibrant look by adding in some shirring at the waistline and a couple of tiered skirts, as well as some pleats at the shoulder seams using the bust dart. Another fantastic resource for sewing Cadence is also on our blog, and it is from Anjori, and she's got she's like 4 different hacks that she's put into this Cadence dress and top that she's made. She's got this beautiful notch neckline. She has a twist on the like a boat neck style. She has some sleeve ties and like a curved sort of sleeve finishing. They're beautiful. So be sure to take a look at Anjori's post with even more sewing ideas and inspiration for Cadence. In a second, I'll share some of the highlights from my making of my new Cadence shift dress. But if you've made Cadence before, please pop a comment in below so that you can tell me what you thought of it. And then if you have any questions about making a shift dress, about fabric, about sizing, all of those other ideas or questions that you have, please drop me a comment below so that we can work on it together. We love sewing with you here, and we can't wait to see what you make next. And while Cadence is totally a pattern that is approachable for most beginners, if you're looking for more of a simple knit pattern, I really suggest taking a look at the Laundry Day Tee. You can get it free by signing up for our new